Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination news. Newsmakers talking points, the big talking point. Udhyanidhi Stalin in the heart of a big controversy. Is he guilty of hate speech? Is this the DMK's critique of Sanatan Dharma and Hinduism justified? Among our other guests tonight will be the Congress leader, Karthi Chidambaram, will be joining me on just where he stands on the issue. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9 tonight. Tamil Nadu Minister Udhyanidhi Stalin sparks off a major political controversy as he remains defiant on his remarks questioning Sanatan Dharma. Rift widens within the opposition India bloc. BJP questions the Congress's silence. One nation, one election stirs a fresh political divide. Opposition calls the government's committee move an eyewash and an insult to democracy. BJP defends its proposal, saying the bill would save cash and free up time for developmental activities in the country. As tensions continue to escalate in Maharashtra over the Maratha reservation issue, Chief Minister MK Stalin chairs a high-level meeting, appeals for peace, says no one should politicize the issue. Kaveri water war continues to escalate. Protests now continue in various regions of Karnataka over the release of water to neighbouring Tamil Nadu. Supreme Court all set to hear the case on 6 September. Stage set for the first India versus NDA poll battle. 7 seats across 7 states to go for a by-election tomorrow. It's a test for Team India. Manipur government files an FIR against the members of the Editors Guild of India, including its president, condemning the guild. Chief Minister Biren Singh accuses her of trying to create more clashes in the state. The guild had condemned the Manipur media's coverage of the ethnic violence. As India gears up to host the G20 summit, Chinese President Xi Jinping will now send his Prime Minister. He won't be coming. Beijing may block any consensus on a G20 joint statement. ISRO releases fresh images of the Vikram lander conducting second soft landing on moon, completes hop experiment from current location at Shiv Shakti point. And cricketer MP Gautam Gambhir loses his cool amidst Kohli Kohli chants, flips the crowd with an indecent gesture during India versus Nepal Asia Cup 2023 match. Later claims Pakistani fans were shouting anti-India slogans. But our top story tonight, a story that has triggered a political war of words. Tamil Nadu's minister, DMK leader Udhyanidhi Stalin, son of Chief Minister MK Stalin, is under fire after he compared Sanatan Dharma to dengue and malaria. His call for eradicating Sanatan Dharma has sparked off a political storm. The BJP is accusing him of hate speech and questioning the silence of the opposition. But some opposition parties, like the Trinamool Congress, have distanced themselves from the remark. Udhyanidhi Stalin, though, is defiant, saying he was referring to creating a casteless society. Tonight's top story is how Sanatan Dharma is being seen as a potential political war in the country.
சிலவற்றை நாம் ஒழிக்கத்தான் வேண்டும், எதிர்க்க முடியாது. கொசு, டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்க கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும்.
Udhyanidhi Stalin comparing Sanatan Dharma or Hindu Dharma to diseases like dengue and malaria and calling for its eradication. Chief Minister Stalin's son and Tamil Nadu minister was speaking at a so-called Sanatan eradication event. While Stalin's supporters claim his attack was on evils like caste system, the phrase Sanatan Dharma or eternal religion has been used for Hinduism since the 19th century by social reformers. The remark sparked a massive controversy, with BJP accusing Stalin Jr. of hate speech. The BJP has submitted a protest letter to the Tamil Nadu Resident Commissioner in Delhi. A police complaint is also filed against Udhyanidhi Stalin in Delhi.
लोगों ने वोट बैंक की और तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति करने के लिए सनातन धर्म को समाप्त करने की बात की है। हमारी संस्कृति, हमारे इतिहास और सनातन धर्म का अपमान किया है।
सनातन धर्म का के ऊपर भी चोट पहुंचाई जा रही है। इन्हीं के गठबंधन के लोगों ने, डीएमके ने चोट पहुंचाई है और इस पर कांग्रेस चुप्पी साध कर बैठी हुई है।
The Congress, for the record, distanced itself from Udhyanidhi's remarks.
Sarva Dharma Sambhavana. Sarva Dharma Sambhavana is the Congress ideology. But you have to understand, every political party have their own freedom to tell their views.
But I am of the firm opinion that any religion that discriminates between fellow human beings, that does not preach equality, does not preach social justice, is not a religion.
But DMK's India allies are apprehensive of political damage from Stalin Jr.'s attack against Hinduism.
I feel that they have to respect every religion. Instead of saying condemn, my humble request to everybody that we should not comment anything which may hurt the major section or the small section of the people. We have to remember unity and diversity.
Udhyanidhi on Monday clarified he was speaking about all religions and not just Hinduism.
நான் எல்லா மதத்துக்கும் சேர்த்து தான் பேசினேன், இந்து சமயத்துக்கு மட்டும் பேசல. நான் எல்லா மதத்துக்கும் பொதுவாக தான் பேசினேன், இந்து சமயத்துக்கு மட்டும் இந்து மதத்துக்கு மட்டும் நான் பேசல. அனைத்து மதங்கள்ல எந்த மதத்திலையும் இந்த மாதிரி ஜாதி இது இருந்துச்சுன்னா, வித்தியாசங்கள் இருந்துச்சுன்னா பிரிச்சு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அதைத்தான் நான் கண்டிச்சு பேசினேன். அதனால
Will the fire lit by Udhyanidhi by targeting Hinduism singe the India alliance? With Pramod Madhav in Chennai and Anaga Keshav in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's go now first to our newsmaker, someone who's come out in strong defense of Udhyanidhi Stalin. Karthi Chidambaram, Congress MP from Tamil Nadu, joins us. Karthi Chidambaram, you're among the few who has come out in defense of Udhyanidhi Stalin. As we said in that story, will this issue singe your India alliance? Because when Udhyanidhi says Sanatan Dharma, or Hindu eternal religion, is like malaria and dengue, it must be eradicated and not opposed, it is being seen by many as hate remarks, and actually the BJP is going on and saying you're calling for a genocide. How do you respond?
I have listened to the Tamil Nadu Sports Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin's comments at the Progressive Writers Conference. He spoke in Tamil. When he referred to Sanatana Dharma, it's commonly understood in Tamil Nadu, particularly in political discourse and in discussion, Sanatana Dharma only refers to the caste hierarchy in society. So when he said that we need to eliminate Sanatana Dharma, he clearly only refers to elimination of caste hierarchy, not against anybody practicing a particular faith or practicing a particular religion. That is an evil, mischievous, diabolical twist which has been given by certain members of the BJP.
No, but he's linking Sanatana Dharma to eradicating dengue and malaria. The choice of words is very, very deeply unfortunate and regrettable, given that there are millions who do follow Sanatana Dharma in this country.
The speech was given in Tamil Nadu. The speech was given in Tamil. I'm sure that you only relied on a translation because I'm not sure whether you actually understand Tamil directly. In Tamil Nadu, in public discourse, whenever somebody refers to Sanatana Dharma, it is not some deep philosophical meaning. It only means caste hierarchy. This is for the last 75, 80 years, from the time of Periyar, Anna, and every social reformer, when they talk about reformation in society, when they talk about this caste hierarchy, they refer to it as Sanatana Dharma.
Now, let's not compare Udhyanidhi Stalin now to Ambedkar or Periyar. The point, because the point I'm making, the point here is very clear, Karthi Chidambaram. We live in extremely sensitive times. These are not the times to spread anything that will be interpreted as divisive. Is this the time to be spreading divisive slogans? It will only come to bite you. Tamil Nadu is a part of India. You can't ignore the fact that there may be parts of India where Sanatan Dharma is interpreted very differently.
If somebody else wants to interpret it differently from what we have been interpreting it for years and years, it's not really our fault. In Tamil Nadu, Sanatana Dharma means only caste hierarchy. Believe me, I am a practicing Hindu. I go to more temples than most people. I visited 2 temples even today. I don't step out of the house without doing puja. I come from a family where my maternal and paternal grandmothers were very, very pious and very religious people. They never ever mentioned the term Sanatana Dharma when they introduced formal religion to anybody. Why don't you go to anybody who goes to temple in Tamil Nadu, who's a regular temple goer, a regular follower of rituals like me, ask them whether they're following Sanatana Dharma. It will be an alien concept to their way of life.
Sir,
it is not part of our life. It is not part of our vocabulary. The only thing it connotes to us in Tamil Nadu is caste hierarchy. And to say, and for a minister to come and say that he wants to eradicate caste hierarchy, I completely endorse his sentence.
You said, Mr. Chidambaram, there are different interpretations. Let me tell you Mahatma Gandhi's interpretation. 1 minute. Mahatma Gandhi defended Sanatan Hindu Dharma and says, Sanatan Hindu Dharma is not circumscribed like the proverbial frog in the well. It's as broad as the ocean. Thus interpreted, it is the property of all humankind, no matter by what name it is called. He's talking about tolerant and inclusive religion. Now, you've got on the other hand, Udhyanidhi Stalin, who seems to see it as divisive.
Listen, Rajdeep, that might be the Mahatma's words and his commentary on the term. But in Tamil Nadu, in common parlance, in our discourses, in our conversations, when we refer to Sanatana Dharma, it only means caste hierarchy. I mean, somebody who even comes from a religious family is not told, you are following Sanatana Dharma, that's why go to a temple. That is not how people communicate here. People will ask us to maybe perform certain rituals, go to temples, but nobody ever tells us to follow Sanatana Dharma here. That is a term which is only prevalent among a very, very small section of society, which considers itself to be right on top of the caste hierarchy. It has no relevance to anybody else in Tamil Nadu. And when Mr. Udhyanidhi Stalin referred to it, he only referred to the caste hierarchy it denotes and nothing else. You can twist it as much as you want. People in other parts of India can have another definition. But in Tamil Nadu, in discourse, it only refers to caste hierarchy.
You know, you've got your senior Congress leader and someone who's been seen to be an expert on Hindu philosophy, Dr. Karan Singh, today saying, Karthi Chidambaram, Udhayanidhi's preposterous statement that Sanatan Dharma should be eradicated is most unfortunate. Crores of people in this country follow to a lesser or greater extent the tenets of Sanatan Dharma. Meanwhile, the greatest Sanatan Dharma temples in the world are in Tamil Nadu. It is shocking that a responsible politician should make this kind of totally unacceptable statement. So in a way, you see, you are creating, as I said, this is Dr. Karan Singh, who you would agree is hardly Hindutvavadi.
See, I have great respect for Dr. Karan Singh. I know he's a great Shaivite, and I also know that he's done extensive reading on the subject and has got great knowledge. But he's obviously not aware of the common usage of the term in Tamil Nadu, in Tamil parlance, in Tamil political discourse, in Tamil discussion. He obviously does not know that. He's missing the point. Just because people do not understand how we use the term and what the term refers to here, does not mean you can't be interpreting it on what it means to us. In Tamil Nadu, it only means caste hierarchy and nothing else. If you go and ask a common man, what do you think of Sanathanam? He will only say it means caste hierarchy. It is not some deep philosophical, no deep philosophical meaning, and nobody goes to.
So when the BJP calls it, BJP says you're being anti-Hindu and we are going to project this India alliance as anti-Hindu because you've got the DMK leader, their view is abusing Sanatan Dharma. How would you respond?
The BJP's view of Hinduism is akin to the Ayatollah's view of Islam. They want to turn India into an Hindu Iran. That is their view, and their politics will be rejected in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, while we might be far more religious and ritualistic, we reject the caste hierarchical Brahminical BJP's version of Hinduism. That is the version they are thrusting upon us, and their interpretation of Sanatana Dharma perhaps stems from that. The way we interpret Sanatana Dharma is only as a caste hierarchy. You can Split your hair as much as you want, but you can't interpret it the way how we should be interpreting it in Tamil Nadu and what it means in our language and in our culture. Our culture, it only means a caste hierarchy. Please be very clear. I have listened to Udhyanidhi Stalin's speech. He has not called for any violence at all against anybody who's professing or practicing any religion. He has not done that. This word genocide has been thrust in by some diabolical mind in the BJP. Or something else, or somebody with a very, very twisted mind. There is no reference. You can take his speech and it's a short speech, give it to anybody who understands Tamil, any neutral person, ask them to translate it and say, where is the call for action in terms of violence? Absolutely nothing. It is only eradicating that philosophy which only pertains to a caste hierarchy and nothing else.
So you're calling it a critique of Brahminical Hinduism, am I correct? Is that your interpretation?
It is a critique of the caste hierarchical Hinduism. The caste hierarchical Hinduism is only a critique of that. That is what Sanatana Dharma means. It is not, Sanatana Dharma is not some great philosophy which people and the common person going to a temple who practices his religion here every day, including me.
So the final question, you don't think that this will in any way damage the India alliance at a time when you've got Amit Shah accusing the India alliance of practicing appeasement politics? You don't believe that Udhayanidhi Stalin needs to take a step back?
I think it's even more important for us to explain this position that the version of Hindutva which the BJP is thrusting upon everybody is a caste hierarchical Hindutva and not an inclusive Hindu religion. And that I think we need to articulate that, and I think this is a good opportunity for us to start articulating that.
So you're fully backing Udhayanidhi Stalin. You believe that in the context of Tamil Nadu politics, you're not going to take a step back, even though this may cost you in other parts of the country. I've heard leaders like Kamal Nath and others from North India of the Congress distancing themselves from Udhayanidhi's remarks. Mamata Banerjee is also distancing herself. This seems to be now Tamil Nadu leaders getting isolated.
No, as a regular temple going, astrology believing, ritualistic Hindu, I tell you that I completely back what Udhyanidhi spoke in that conference.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Karthi Chidambaram. You clearly have come out very strongly in support of Udhayanidhi Stalin, saying please look at his statements in the context of what happens in Tamil Nadu, Periyarism, Ambedkarism. I appreciate your joining us. We'll see how this plays out in the rest of the country, because that's what I want to turn to in a moment. Now, this latest tussle over Sanatan Dharma, or eternal Hinduism, as some would put it, has always been the subject of debate, particularly in Tamil Nadu. This is, of course, a state where, remember, the Periyar movement, the man who is seen by many as the father of Dravidian politics, called for caste-free social justice and attacked what he said were the weaknesses of Hinduism. Ambedkar too made similar remarks at times. The question is 21st century Tamil politics still tied up with Periyarism? Let me explain before I turn to my talking point.
Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, or DMK, co-founded by Karunanidhi, has its roots in the self-respect movement begun by Erode Venkatappa Ramasamy, commonly known as Periyar, or the Elder. He was at the helm of an early 20th century movement that championed opposition to caste and religion and positioned itself as a rationalist movement against social evils. Through the years, these ideals have influenced first the Madras Residency and then Tamil Nadu politics. Both the DMK and AIADMK emerged from this movement. Periyar, the founder of the self-respect movement of 1925, was strongly anti-caste and anti-religion in his outlook. He advocated major social reforms related to caste and gender, and opposed the domination of Hindi, emphasizing the distinct cultural identity of the Tamil nation, or Dravida Nadu, comprising Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu and Kannada speakers. In 1938, the Justice Party, which Periyar was a member of, and the self-respect movement came together. In 1944, the new outfit was named Dravidar Kazhagam. It was anti-Brahmin, anti-Congress and anti-Aryan, or North Indian. They launched a movement for an independent Dravida nation. By the time India became independent, the Dravidian movement was headed for an acrimonious breakup. The seeds had been laid in 1940. By 1941, the unquestioned leader of the movement, Periyar, suspended all political agitation against the British to extend cooperation to them during the Second World War. This was when Annadurai and Periyar began to drift apart. And along with Annadurai, so did his protege, the young and impressionable M. Karunanidhi. By 1949, Periyar's Dravidian movement had split, and Karunanidhi joined hands with Annadurai to help in the founding of the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, or the DMK. Post-independence, Periyar refused to contest elections. The original party of Periyar, the Dravida Kazhagam, or DK, slowly faded away, leaving the DMK as the main defender of Tamil sentiment. Udhyanidhi Stalin's grandfather, Karunanidhi, was part of this journey.
Let's turn then to our talking point. Is Udhayanidhi Stalin guilty of hate speech as his critics are accusing him now? Is the DMK's critique of Sanatan Dharma justified? Is the BJP trying to make political capital now of the DMK leader's remarks, and will they succeed? Joining me now, Guru Prakash Paswan, BJP spokesperson, Kancha Elaya is Dalit Bahujan rights activist, Sandeep Shastri, coordinator, Lokniti Network. Appreciate your joining us. I want to come to you, Guru Prakash, first, because you might have heard Karthi Chidambaram saying the BJP is no one to tell us what is Hinduism. This was a critique of Brahminical Hinduism as he believes it is understood in Tamil Nadu, the need for a casteless society. How do you respond to what you just heard, the defense of what the DMK leader said as a critique of Hinduism rather than calling for the eradication or calling for any kind of genocide, he says?
Rajdeep ji, we must understand a couple of things first. Being anti-caste, does it automatically translate into being anti-Hindu? Absolutely not. If we look at the examples from our culture, from our civilization, Kabir, he was anti-caste, but he was not anti-Hindu. Ravidas, for that matter. Sant Ravidas was anti-caste, but he was not anti-Hindu. So to interpret it in such a manner that being anti-caste necessarily makes you an anti-Hindu, this is absolutely a preposterous argument. Number two, since morning, we have been hearing different sort of arguments. The definition of Sanatan in North is different. The definition and the imagination of Sanatan in the South is different. If that is the case, then why Shankaracharya, who was born in Kerala, he is building 4 mathas across the country, in the North, in the South, in the East, in the West? Go beyond that. We, in our everyday mantra, Jambu Dvipe Bharat Khande, this has happened much before that. We must understand that the Indy Alliance leadership, and this is not the first time, they met in Mumbai only a couple of days ago. There was no consensus in terms of Neta, but there was a consensus in terms of Niti. Their Niti is to insult the sentiments of more than 80-85 crore Hindus of the country. And I was also listening to Mr. Karthi Chidambaram, who alleged that BJP is a Brahminical party. Let me quote you from a study that was published in the Hindustan Times data. It's an excellent study done by an excellent researcher, Nishant Ranjan, who has argued that since independence, the Congress party, the so-called messiah of social justice, the so-called paragon of social justice, has made only 15% of its 250 chief ministers from the OBC community. On the other hand, it has been BJP who has been more accommodative when it comes to OBC representation. So everything, you are attacking Sanatan in the name of social justice. It's unacceptable.
You are attacking Sanatan in the name, Guru Prakash. No, Guru Prakash.
Country's history.
No. According to Udhayanidhi and Karthi Chidambaram, we are critiquing Hinduism from a Dravidian perspective. That we represent, according to Udhayanidhi Stalin, what he has said is no different to what a Periyar said, to what an Ambedkar said. The fact, according to Udhyanidhi Stalin, is he's just taking forward that argument to build a casteless society to annihilate caste, and Ambedkar moved out of Hinduism to become a Buddhist because he said, I will not accept Brahminical Hinduism.
Rajdeep ji, with all due respect, and I find it really laughable that you are comparing Udhyanidhi Stalin to Baba Sahib Ambedkar. I think you of all the people would know that Udhyanidhi Stalin is a product
I'm not
of
comparing
dynasty.
him. He's not a comparison. He is quoting from Periyar and Ambedkar.
Rajdeep ji, so you are quoting, you are in a sense trying to justify, not you, but there are people in politics today who in a sense are trying to justify Udhyanidhi's statement in the context of Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Udhyanidhi Stalin is a product of dynasty. Udhyanidhi Stalin is a product of privilege. For God's sake, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, who was single-handedly responsible for lifting millions of underprivileged people. And it was today. And Mr. Karthi Chidambaram, of speaking of BJP being a Brahminical party, Rajdeep ji, you very well know, Ambedkar died in 1956. It took us more than 40 years after his death to give that man a Bharat Ratna. A non-Congress government in the center gives Baba Sahib Ambedkar a Bharat Ratna. Today there are 5 places linked to Baba Sahib Ambedkar which has been elevated to the status of Tirth. So there is absolutely no comparison. But there is a pattern, Rajdeep ji, which we need to understand. The statements made by Mr. Udhyanidhi Stalin, it's not an isolated statement. There is a pattern, there is a design. Only a few days ago, we saw a Swami Prasad Maurya, a Samajwadi party leader, saying, spreading venom about Hinduism. Mr. Satish, a Pradesh Congress Committee president of Karnataka, he said Hindu बड़ा ही बुरा शब्द होता है. Gopal Italia, आम आदमी पार्टी, मंदिर में जाने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. Do not take me what Mr. Rahul Gandhi has said. जो लोग मंदिर में जाते हैं वो क्या क्या करते हैं. But we have to understand that there is a deep-seated hatred for Hindus in the so-called India Alliance. Rajdeep ji, I am live from Bihar today. In Bihar, the extreme of political appeasement is such that in parts of Purnia, parts of Khagaria, on the day of Friday, the schools are shut. On the other hand, on the contrary, Lok Astha ka Mahaparv Chhat Puja, the government is curtailing the holidays in the name of Chhat. So the end of extremism, this is a product of politics of appeasement. Okay. This is a product of denigrating the values, the ideals and the institutions of Sanatan Dharma. I ask you, Rajdeep ji, today, if you have real sense, what is the social justice that you have done? Have you given a representation? For the first time, we saw a woman from the tribal community reaching the highest constitutional office in the country, and these are the same people who in the name of social justice oppose that. Is that your idea of social justice? Is that your idea of Sanatan Dharma?
Okay, let Kancha, you've given me a very strong rebuttal. I think Kancha Ilaya, who's written again trenchant critiques of Hinduism, needs to respond. Kancha, how do you respond to what you heard from Guru Prasad Paswan? He says, look, the BJP stands for social justice. The Sanatan Dharma that Guru Prasad Paswan talks about, he believes stands for inclusivity and social justice.
Well, Rajdeep, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Hello?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead.
Yeah. There are two opinions here. What Udhayanidhi or Chidambaram are saying is that the concept Sanatan is not a pure religious concept, but it actually deeply links up to caste, untouchability and inequalities, including women. Which of course Periyar's writings, you can see usage of this. If you see Ambedkar's writings, the idea of Sanatan is deeply linked up to Varna Dharma. Sanatan Dharma and Varna Dharma are deeply linked up, therefore caste, untouchability and the kind of women's inequality that came in, where the Hindu religion, what they are today calling, could not emerge as spiritual democracy is caste and untouchability, women's inequality question. Now, I heard the BJP representative, I also heard BJP spokesperson today in the press conference, that they are saying Sanatan is an eternal law which will not change. Now, if that is the case, are they saying that Sanatan is an eternal law and caste and untouchability, inequality are not part of it, but they are part of this society before Muslims came, before British came, and after they left, even during Congress period and during BJP period. But BJP today has a bigger political moral responsibility because it is claiming that it is a Hindu party. Okay, whether one is a Dalit, one is an OBC, one is a upper caste, whatever it is, if they want India to be a Hindu religious-based country and political system too, can they tomorrow declare what is their agenda of abolition of caste? They are saying eradication of Varna Dharma, Sanatan Dharma is eradication of caste. Okay, you don't agree with it. But so far, in 15 years of BJP rule, no Dalit, Adivasi, Shudra in this country could hear what is their agenda of abolition of caste, abolition of untouchability.
They have made an Adivasi, Kancha, they will claim they have made an Adivasi the president of India. They will claim that they are pushing for greater Dalit political representation. So they are saying you are looking at the BJP from a narrow prism. They claim, this is the claim they make, that therefore they are actually looking at eradication of caste in their own way.
Now, Rajdeep, if you listen the debates between Rajgopalachari and Periyar, Rajgopalachari, though was not a supporter of Ambedkar, was claiming that they were supporting Jagjeevan Ram. See, this one individual, that one individual in this position, on that position is not abolition of caste stand. As an intellectual, as a writer, as a columnist, tell me, making one individual, whether it is Congress, K.R. Narayanan, or BJP Kovind, or today, Draupadi Murmu or whatever, is it a stand on abolition of caste inequality and women's inequality and making
so
Hindu religion?
Are you saying fundamentally, Kanchaila, you
BJP
believe...
people
are you saying...
are they for Shudra, Dalit, Adivasi equal priests?
Are you saying, therefore, you believe
Equal
fundamentally Sanatan Dharma is unequal?
Can they declare?
Sir, are you saying that Sanatan Dharma is fundamentally unequal?
No, that is what the history is. No, I don't have to say that. You look at the history of India writing from Rigveda to present.
Okay. Can I
when did the caste emerge? The idea of Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya and Brahman, and till today, who are defending in written all these ideas.
Can I for a moment, just a minute, Kancha, let me get Guru Prasad to respond. You've raised again valid point.
California caste opposition law is opposed by them. That's the problem.
Okay, let Guru Prasad respond. It's all very well that you say you have an Adivasi as president, you previously had a Dalit. According to Kanchaila, history shows that the BJP or indeed Hindutva forces have traditionally supported what he describes as a Varna Dharma. You have not done enough. You don't want to break the caste system. When you say this is the eternal religion, where is the breaking down of caste? Where is the eradication? Where is the concerted effort to break down the barriers of caste? That there is a Manuvadi tinge.
Rajdeep ji, Kancha, Ilayya, Rajdeep ji, this is the day of Anu. India is reaching the south pole of the moon and you are still talking Manu. Let's get out of that mindset. Let's talk of Anu, let's talk of moon. We just sent a lunar mission. We just sent a mission to the sun. The country is no
Does
longer
that
stuck in
change
that
the
debate.
caste
I was
hierarchy? No, let
patiently
me
listening
be
to-
honest, Guru Prasad Paswan, if you look at a classifieds item in newspapers today, they will again refer to caste identities. We can talk about going to Chandrayaan. Let's talk about the reality on the ground. Are you telling me caste does not exist on the ground? Are you telling me there is no caste discrimination, including in Bihar?
Rajdeep ji, you patiently listen to the observations of Mr. Kancha
I'm
Ilayya
listening
Shepherd.
to you also.
I expect you extend the same courtesy to me. I expect you extend the same courtesy to me. So we have to understand a couple of things. I have read the works of Mr. Kancha Ilayya Shepherd and the sort of venom that he is spreading in the name of caste. So he has made certain points. He has made certain points about Baba Sahib Ambedkar as well. You cannot selectively quote Ambedkar. Let me make this very clear tonight. Ambedkar is the same person who has said that I consider Ramanujacharya as my guru. Ambedkar is the same person who is considering a paragon of Sanatan Dharma, Ramanujacharya, as his guru. So you have to understand, you cannot take it selectively, sir. And about the works, about the representation politics that has been in practice, you are very well aware, Rajdeep ji, since 1952 to 2020, there was not a single Dalit sent to Rajya Sabha from the presidential nomination route of art and culture. For the first time, Padam Shri Ilayya Raja, the music maestro from Dalit community, was the first person to send to the Rajya Sabha through the presidential nomination route. So we don't need any certificate from Mr. Kancha Ilayya Shepherd, and we have to agree that across the country, and as per the data by the Association of Democratic Reforms, they have put it across that 40% people from the marginalized section are strongly standing in support of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Number one. Number two, if you look at it culturally, if you look at it civilizationally, who authored the Mahabharata? Maharishi Vedvyas. What caste did he belong to? I want to ask Mr. Kancha Ilayya Shepherd. Come to Ramayana. Maharishi Valmiki. Which caste did Maharishi Valmiki belong to? I want to ask Mr. Kancha Ilayya Shepherd. You come to Constitution of India, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Kabir, Ravidas, all the poets from the Bhakti tradition, they are all represented. They have made supreme sacrifices for the culture, for the civilization, for the nation. Okay. The concerted narrative by a section of the intelligentsia, it's completely unacceptable and unwarranted.
Okay,
For the last 9 years, Rajdeep ji, you would agree to this.
I have a third guest joining me. Professor Sandeep Shastri. Professor Sandeep Shastri, politically, how does this play out? Yeah, you're hearing Guru Prasad Paswan that the BJP has had this outreach to Dalits, to Adivasi groups, to marginalized groups, and then you have Udhyanidhi Stalin virtually suggesting that the BJP or indeed the forces against the DMK represent Brahminical Hinduism.
Rajdeep, I think one point we are all forgetting is content has to be looked in context. What Kancha Ilayya ji said, what Paswan ji said, both make eminent sense. In the particular situation we are talking about, I think what was said in Tamil Nadu needs to be seen in the context of Tamil Nadu. And when we are seeing in this country the difference between all India parties and state-based parties, this is one of the issues that come up. A state-based party looks at issues from the context of that particular state, whereas a national party would try to look at it from a national canvas, changing the context. And when you change the context, the issue has totally different ramifications.
No, but doesn't that make it embarrassing for the national party? Doesn't that make it embarrassing for a national alliance?
That's why you'll hear now in any alliance, you'll have this embarrassment, be it the NDA or the opposition alliance. There are multiple voices which come up and each of them develop ways in which we deal with it. But I think we must make a second point, Rajdeep, which is if Udhayanidhi Stalin's statement had come in the middle of an election term, it would not have attracted the type of attention it has. It has attracted attention because it has come just before the elections. And third and last, let's also remember the whole response to Udhayanidhi Stalin is also a response to what we could see as a very clearly emerging North-South political divide, be it on the issue of the new delimitation, be it on language. There are so many issues coming up. This is part of that larger debate. It is part of that larger politics of opposition to domination. So I think we need not look at the issue solely in its specific, in the specific content we are talking about. There's a larger political context.
You know,
and I think both sides are looking at the debate from their context.
Given that context, Kancha Ilaya, couldn't Udhayanidhi Stalin perhaps have looked at the, the wider politics in which we are now playing out? When you make these kind of vicious attacks, which would be seen as venomous, when you link Sanatan Dharma and say it should be eradicated like dengue and malaria, the language you use will be interpreted as hate speech.
No, there is a scope for interpreting, and particularly when Home Minister himself picked up this whole small conference somewhere where he spoke, and then the whole entire BJP ruling structures have come out. Now, look at this. If BJP is saying that this is a language of appeasement during the oath phase, at the same time they are saying that 80% of Indians who are non-Muslims, non-Christians don't accept this. Now, where does this language influence? Why are they worried about it? It could be treated as a fringe, but why they are not treating it as a fringe? Because one problem BJP has, it can show, there is a caste untouchability throwing out from temples here. It can, BJP intellectual can say we are going to moon and we are going to sun. This is not the issue. For a human being living as unequal, all Dalits, Shudras, OBCs, majority, this is an issue. Your son is not going to give them food. If you don't give dignity of labor in your day-to-day political national administration by abolishing caste inequality, which is rooted in indignity of labor, what are you showing about sun and moon for a sufferer, beggar, untouchable? This doesn't work. Now that means they are in a way scared that this might influence SC, ST, OBC, Shudras at a larger level. In UP, the Shudra question has come after Ramcharitmanas, and including Akhilesh Yadav said, yes, I am a Shudra. Why did they say? Lalu Prasad did not say that. Mulayam Singh did not say that. Today these young leaders are saying, I am Shudra. And Udhayanidhi, who is a very young guy, is speaking Periyar language. Now, whom do they want to influence? Definitely they would like to influence SC, ST, OBCs. Certainly not Muslims with this.
So you are saying there is a political competitive, what we are done therefore, what we seem to be caught in is competitive politics. Essentially what we are seeing is how politics plays out, particularly in the times in which we live, and therefore there is a tendency to further polarize and divide. I asked my viewers tonight, wouldn't you want more questions on quality of governance in this country than being trapped in these long-held antagonisms of caste and community? That's a question that you, the viewer, have to answer. And can Hindutvavadi forces go into this debate with clean hands when they will talk about others as Babar ki aulad? Think about it. We need people to come together, to bridge, to be bridge builders, not dividing forces, whether it's an Udhayanidhi or indeed whether it's a Hindutvavadi force. Think about it. Thank you all very much for joining me on that. Let's turn to another question that's dividing caste again, this time in Maharashtra, where tensions continue to escalate over Maratha reservations. Today, the Maratha Kranti Morcha held a bandh in many areas of Maharashtra, denouncing last week's police firing and lathi charge. Amidst the escalation, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde held a high-level meet to discuss the demand of the community for reservations. Maratha reservations, more divisions. Take a look.
Tensions escalate in Maharashtra. The Maratha Kranti Morcha held bandh in many areas of Maharashtra on Monday, denouncing last week's lathi charge on the protesters in Jalna who were demanding reservation for Marathas. Manoj Jarange Patil, the leader of protests, who is on a hunger strike, has demanded Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis' resignation. The protesters are blaming Fadnavis, who is also the State Home Minister, for the Friday lathi charge.
एक सर्कुलर निकालने के लिए एक दिन काफी है, तभी हमने 2 दिन दे दिए। सरकार ने सर्कुलर निकालकर मराठवाड़ा सह महाराष्ट्र का सबका न्याय देने का काम करेंगे। ये काम करना है, ये हमारी मांग है उनको आणि वो करेंगे ऐसी आशा है।
की दादा तुम्ही फडणवीसांचा राजीनामा तरी घ्या किंवा मग त्यांची साथ तरी सोडा। आम्ही तुमच्याकडे सकल मराठा समाज तुमच्याकडे खूप आशेने बघतो आणि या ठिकाणी जे गुन्हे दाखल तिथं झालेले आहेत हे गुन्हे ते शासनाने त्वरित मागे घ्यावेत, कारण त्या तरुण मुलांचा सगळ्यांचा आयुष्य या ठिकाणी बर्बाद होईल। मी दादांकडे मी खास करून विनंती करतो।
The face-off worsened on Friday after police tried to take Manoj Jarange Patil to the hospital. Protesters targeted state transport buses and private vehicles and clashed with the police, leaving many injured. State Minister Girish Mahajan visited the hunger strike site on Sunday night, attempting to negotiate a truce but failed. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has ordered a probe into the lathi charge and protests on Friday. The state government has appealed for peace.
सरकार पूरी गंभीरता से मराठा समाज को आरक्षण देने के लिए काम कर रही है और मराठा समाज को आरक्षण मिलने तक सरकार चुप बैठेगी नहीं। सरकार पूरी कोशिश करेगी ये आरक्षण फुल प्रूफ होगा और उसका लाभ मराठा समाज को देना ये भूमिका सरकार की है।
Maharashtra Navnirman Sena Chief Raj Thackeray on Monday met the people agitating for Maratha quota.
परंतु मी आता या सर्व लोकांसाठी या गेंड्याच्या कातडीच्या लोकांसाठी आपला जीव गमावू नका। त्याच्यासाठी काय एक जण गेला त्याला फरक पडत नाहीये, पण आपल्यासाठी महत्त्वाचं आहे।
An earlier government headed by Devendra Fadnavis has implemented 16% quota for the Marathi community in 2018. But this was quashed by the Supreme Court in 2021. The protests for Maratha quota could become election issue ahead of 2024 Lok Sabha polls. With Pankaj Khelkar in Jalna, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's turn to tonight's Get Real India story, and it comes from Madhya Pradesh, which like several other parts of the country is facing drought after receiving 19% less rainfall between June 1st and September 4th. Remember, large parts of the country have had a very dry August. Farmers there are now worried about a rain deficit. All of this happening when Madhya Pradesh goes to the polls in a few months from now. Here's tonight's Get Real India story.
Malwa is considered the most fertile region of Madhya Pradesh, but the farmers here are a worried lot as the state is facing monsoon deficit. The soybean crop may not give the expected yield this time.
हमारी जो किसान की फसल है, ये किसान फसल बिल्कुल 100% 80% का समथिंग खत्म हो चुकी है और इसके बाद ना तो हमारे पास पानी की सुविधा है, ना हमारे पास ना ट्यूब है, ना कोई ऐसा बावड़ी है कि हम उससे सिंचाई कर सकें।
Madhya Pradesh has received 19% less rains between June 1st and September 4th. The rain deficit in Malwa region is 41%. Satna region saw 47% less rains and Sidhi area is facing 37% deficit. Cultivation of soybean, jowar, groundnuts and pulses are badly hit. CM Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who will face elections in a few months, is looking for divine intervention. Chauhan visited the Mahakaleshwar temple in Ujjain, where he offered prayers seeking rainfall for the welfare of farmers.
सूखे की स्थिति मध्य प्रदेश में पैदा हो रही है और फसलों पर संकट छाया है। बाबा कृपा की वर्षा करें, अच्छी वर्षा हो जाए, फसलें बच जाएं।
The opposition Congress is demanding compensation for the farmers.
केवल सूखा की नहीं, बिजली की, रोजगार की, भ्रष्टाचार की,
इनको ये सब पूजा करनी पड़ेगी। बिल्कुल मैं मांग करता हूँ और सर्वे हो और मुआवजा दिया जाए।
To add to the woes of people, temperature is hovering above 40 degrees in many places. Dams in the state are also drying up. Madhya Pradesh could face drought-like conditions if rainfall doesn't pick up. With Ravish Pal Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Drought, a story you won't catch on most prime time across channels. Let's turn to our good news today story, which comes from Krishna Bhakts preparing to welcome Laddu Gopal as Janmashtami is round the corner. Now in Rajasthan's Dholpur, Muslim community members are also preparing to welcome Lord Krishna in a very special way. Take a look at tonight's Good News Today story.
Janmashtami is around the corner. Along with Krishna Bhakts, the Muslim community in Rajasthan's Dholpur are also preparing to welcome Laddu Gopal. Muslim artisans here make dresses for Lord Krishna, and it is their only source of income.
ऑर्डर कहाँ से मिलता है इसका?
मतलब दुकानदार बताते हैं, डिजाइन बताते हैं कि हम ये डिजाइन बनाना है आपको, वो उसी का बनाते हैं। सारा डिजाइन बनाते हैं इसको कागज पे जी, उसके बाद में इस कपड़े पे डालते हैं उसको, फिर जिन चीजों से उसको जड़ते हैं जी। ये उसका आरी जरी का काम है।
A large chunk of these clothes are sent to Vrindavan. The handmade costumes of Kanaji are exquisite and even feature pearls and gems. With Mathura and Vrindavan celebrate Lord Krishna's birth, remember where his clothes have come from. Unity in diversity. That is the beauty of India. Bureau Report, India Today.
Think about it. Do you want uniformity or unity in diversity? Let me leave you with our image tonight. Former Indian opener and Delhi MP Gautam Gambhir has defended his rather obscene gesture that he made at spectators. Remember, there were spectators shouting Kohli, Kohli when you saw Gambhir pointing his finger at them. Now he says he was pointing fingers at Pakistani fans who he claims were raising anti-India slogans. Is his defense convincing? Listening to him as I leave you with that soundbite. Good night, goodbye. Jai Hind, Shubhratri, Namaskar.
सच्चाई है, जो भी वीडियो वायरल हुआ है उसमें सबसे बड़ी सच्चाई है कि अगर आप एंटी इंडिया स्लोगन्स लगाएंगे और अगर आप ये बोलेंगे कि हिंदुस्तान मुर्दाबाद या फिर कश्मीर के बारे में बात करेंगे तो फिर बंदा किसी तरीके से तो रिएक्ट करेगा या फिर हंस के चला जाएगा। तो सिर्फ यही कारण था कि वहां पर 2 या 3 पाकिस्तानी लोग थे। मैं अपने देश के बारे में या देश के अगेंस्ट तो सुन नहीं सकता हूँ।